Lizzie, have you got a spade? Because today we are going to dig deeper. So, Lizzie, I want to ask first, as a child, what did you want to be when you grew up and why?
Oh, well, there was actually two things. I always wanted to be a princess,
Oh,
and I was thinking I am going to meet a real Prince Charming and that when I was a little girl. And it wasn't until much later on in life that I realized I'm already a princess because if we are daughters of the king, we are princesses, aren't we? We will reign in majesty with God when we become part of the heavenly kingdom. And the other thing I wanted to be was an air hostess because it appealed to me as a glamorous job, lots of travel. And I did give it a little consideration, but a lot of the airlines have a minimum height requirement, and I'm only 5 foot. And I think the only one that was close was Cathay Pacific, and you have to be 5'2" for that. So that was like, a career ended. But I think it was the travel and the uh, perception of glamour. But with all the travel I've done recently, I just realised they work very, very, very hard and they don't actually get to spend much time in these countries that they fly to. I think I'd have been very disappointed had my career gone down that path. Yes, so that's what I would have liked to have been. Yeah.
that's interesting. So, and you are right, you are a princess because we belong to the Lord. And also, Lizzie, you do travel a lot as well, don't you? What's some of
Mm.
the places you've actually been to?
We've been so blessed, Jeannie, and a lot of it is to do with Matt's job. But we've been to many countries in Africa: Tanzania, Zanzibar, Namibia. I've been to Tunisia. Matt's been to Morocco. Then we've been to Cambodia, Vietnam, Sri Lanka, India, which we've just come back to, Panama, Argentina. And the most far-flung place we've been is Antarctica. We went there last year, so that was more than a holiday of a lifetime. That was a holiday of many, 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 many lifetimes. So, but we are privileged and blessed. And as you know, I do write a travel blog because I like to share the experiences as well. So thank you for asking that. Yes, we're very well travelled. But I keep myself humble because I realise the privilege. I absolutely do realise just how fortunate that we are. So
Well, you're certainly well traveled. And I have to say, it's almost like the Lord knew your heart from when you were a child that and as you got a bit older, that you wanted to go to travel to lots of places, and you really have.
mm-hmm.
So, Lizzie, tell me one good thing about your week.
It would be difficult to pull out one good thing because there's lots of good things. I'm very blessed. I live in a country that's warm and rain free for 99.9% of the year. So even going out for a walk is such a wonderful thing because it's bright blue skies and lots of sunshine. So I love going out for a walk and being in the beauty of God's creation. I'm blessed with jobs in inverted commas that I love, my little dog sitting business and doing work for the Lord. This is something I've been looking forward to. So this is a good thing that's happening in my week. And I teach Bible studies on a Monday afternoon, and I'm blessed with an amazing group that I see grow week by week, and that brings me such joy. It really, really, really does.
And you also do Bible studies on living stones as well, don't you?
I do, and I love that as well
Yeah.
too.
And you
So
are
yeah, yes, I really, really enjoy that. Yeah.
brilliant. So, Lizzie, what has been one difficult thing then about your week?
I think it's a continuing challenge in my life that I am busy, and sometimes I become anxious about accomplishing everything that I need to get through in my life. But my daily prayer is that God grants me the time, the energy, the motivation, the resources, and a cheerful serving heart to get through the tasks of the day. And he's so faithful, and he's never failed me, because I get to the end of the day and I look back and I think, oh, I did manage to do that. But this week I've had an extra task put on me, which I have actually finished immediately before this call took place, because I was praying that I would be done and to have a clear head. And it's finding the quiet times, because I think if one isn't careful, you can spend so much time doing things for God that you forget to spend time with God, and you get so caught up in the practicalities of being in a teaching ministry that you forget you need your own spiritual fulfillment as well. And it's the challenge is finding the quiet times, and this week I found that difficult to find the quiet times.
Yes. And that reminds me of the story of Mary and Martha, where Martha was so busy and Mary was ready to sit at the feet of Jesus. And it's like, Jesus, tick her off, tell her off. She's not doing anything. But the Lord said she had done a good thing. So our quiet times are important in our life. And I think then everything else comes into place, doesn't it? So, Lizzie, I want to know, who is an inspirational person in your life?
I think as I've got further along in my Christian walk, I've been blessed with a number of wonderful mentors, and they have been sources of inspiration to me. One of note is Pastor Michael Rolls, who was the pastor that I had when we were here in Riyadh. And he's since moved to Tasmania, and we continue to stay in touch. And if I'm struggling with understanding something from the Bible, or if I want help with pointers for a message, am I on the right track, I will email him, and he's so generous with his time and sharing his own resources. He'll say, oh, I actually did a message on that 5 years ago, I can send you some notes that you can have a look at. And he's so generous. He's not precious about, oh, I did this and I'm not going to share it with you. But I get a lot of inspiration from the Bible, from the biblical characters that are in there, and particularly what I would call the unsung heroes, or the unsung heroines, the people that appear just as one or two liners, and yet, many thousands of years later, we are still reading about them and the impact they had on other people's lives. I mean, you remember I did the message on Rizpah, which not many people even, Rizpah, oh, is she in the Bible? Well, yes, she is. And it was her inspirational devotion to getting justice for her own sons and for the rest of the family, as they were waiting for King David to change his mind about the treatment of the Gibeonites. So I'm always champion of the underdog, so I like these little characters that appear. So Rizpah would be one of them, certainly.
Yeah, that was a great study, that was, Lizzie. It really was. And like you, I'm liking the people where they are still significant in the Bible. They may not have played, say, a major role, but there was always a purpose in their lives. So I want to ask, what are you learning about yourself of late?
I think that I need to learn to give myself over to the Lord more, and my day goes much better if I do that at the start of the day. Sometimes you wake up, and I always say, this is the day that the Lord has made. Rejoice and be glad in it. As you know, I open my eyes and says that. But then I immediately get caught up in, getting my husband breakfast done and lunch done and getting on with my day. And I'm thinking, oh, I'll do my prayers just after I've put the dishwasher on. Oh, I'll do my prayers just after I've done this. And I've actually found my day does go better if I go, no, I am going to sit down now and have my time. And then everything else seems to fall into place. So I think I'm learning that God's got it. I haven't got to be managing director of the universe. That's his job, and not mine. That the world will keep on turning, whether I've loaded the dishwasher at 7 o'clock in the morning or at 9 o'clock in the morning, or I haven't actually got around to doing it. Whereas it's most important that we do spend time with the Lord, and not just, oh, I need to get through this study. Oh, yeah, but that's it. Okay, amen. It needs to be quality time, doesn't it? Because otherwise it would be like going to someone's house for coffee and constantly looking at your watch, thinking about the next thing that you'd got to do, because you would end up thinking, oh, she doesn't really want to be here. She would want to be somewhere else. So I'm learning that I just need to let go and let God, as the phrase goes. But the thing I struggle with, which I think is something that will come up later on, is patience. I want everything done yesterday, and I'm the one that thinks, oh, I'll just do this, and then and why haven't you done that, and get agitated. And I need to calm down, take a breath, say a prayer, and just hand it over. But I guess we're all a work in process, Jeannie, aren't we? So
we certainly are, Lizzie. We really are. That's so true. So lastly, Lizzie, how can I pray for you this week? And those who are listening, how can we pray for you this week?
I would ask people to pray for me to be less anxious about the future, because we're undergoing a season of change in our lives here in Saudi, and we don't completely know what the next season is going to bring for us. And it's interesting you mentioned that God had probably got my travel thing all mapped out, because one of the visions I had along as feet, just moving across different terrains, rocky terrains, grassy terrains, sandy terrains. And my footwear was changing all of the time. And I really were going to go to different places, and I would physically need different footwear to cope with what was underneath my feet. But in a spiritual sense, it didn't matter where I was going to go, that God would always provide the correct footwear for me to be doing what it was I was supposed to be doing. And I think that's it, to pray that we have wisdom, integrity, clarity in our praying about what we're going to do next in our lives, and to have that peace of just handing it over and letting God be our driving force, and not any external things that we might be worried about, just completely giving over to him, that take away the anxiety and to bring a sense of peace, that it's in the Lord's hands and we've just got to let him get on with it.
Yeah. Yes. And I'm sure, Lizzie, the Lord will guide and direct you, and I will be praying for you on that.
Thank you so
and I'm
much.
sure those on Living Stones will as well. So, Lizzie, I look forward to interviewing you for part 2. God bless you.
And you too, Jeannie. Thank you so much.